Okay, so natural remedies, huh? Hmm. Seems like you're interested in herbalism.
Definitely a smart move.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, this whole world of plants
Yeah.
just waiting for us to figure it out.
Well, and luckily, it seems like we've got a good guide with us today. Allison's, was it Basics of Herbalism, that course?
Yes, that's the one. Okay, so herbalism, it's a pretty fascinating field.
Yeah, it really is. I think one of the things that always strikes me is just how, I don't know, how global it is. Like, we're not just talking about one tradition here, right? It's like all these different systems developed over like centuries all over the world.
That's actually what caught my eye in the course description.
Yeah.
You mentioned traditional Chinese medicine and then also like all sorts of practices from India.
Right, right.
It's kind of wild to think about, like all these different cultures throughout history,
Yeah.
all turning to plants for, healing and stuff.
Well, yeah, I think it speaks to something kind of, I don't know, fundamental about being human, you know?
Yeah,
Like this desire to connect with nature, to kind of like tap into its power for our own well-being.
for sure.
And it's interesting because you see these common threads across cultures. So like the specific herbs themselves might be different, but the way they're used, like the effects that people discovered, there's a lot of overlap.
Oh, really? Like what?
So, for example, in both traditional Chinese medicine and Ayurveda, which is the traditional medicine of India, you see this herb, ashwagandha. And in both of those traditions, it's recognized for its adaptogenic properties.
Adapt to what?
Adaptogenic. Basically, it means it helps your body deal with stress more effectively.
Oh, okay.
So even though these cultures were like miles apart, they both looked at this plant and were like, okay, this one helps us manage stress. Isn't that interesting?
That's so cool. It's like this whole secret language of plants that we're just, starting to understand,
Exactly.
which is why I'm excited about this course. Because it seems like, it's perfect for beginners like us who, I don't know, we're curious, right?
Yeah,
We
totally.
want to actually like use these herbs for everyday stuff.
Absolutely. And that's what's so great about Allison's courses. It really promises to equip you with the knowledge to do that.
Yeah, like actually address like health concerns.
Exactly. So, like, think about things like high blood pressure or
Mm.
needing a boost to your immune system.
It even mentioned using hawthorn berry for like heart health.
Exactly.
I've always loved that idea, like growing my own remedies, but I'll be honest, I'm like totally clueless.
Oh, sure.
I wouldn't even know where to start.
Yeah, well, that's where the course comes in. It's like a crash course in herbal actions.
Uh,
You'll learn about things like, nervines, so herbs that soothe your nervous system, like chamomile,
hmm.
or vulneraries, which are herbs that can help speed up wound healing. You can use those topically. Like calendula is a good example of that.
Okay, so it's not just like, randomly steeping any leaf we find in the backyard.
No, not at all.
Got it. But even with all this, like, plant power at our disposal, important to remember, we're not saying ditch your doctor.
Right. Absolutely not. It's really key to approach herbalism responsibly. And the course is very clear about that. Like, these practices should really be seen as complementary to traditional medicine, not a replacement for it, especially in emergencies.
Right. It's about like finding what works best for you for your own health journey.
Exactly.
Speaking of journeys, though, you know what else this course mentioned?
What's that?
Career paths in herbalism.
Oh, yeah.
Now, this is where things get really interesting
Right.
because who wouldn't want to work with plants for a living?
Right. And honestly, it's more than you'd think, the different things you can do with that kind of knowledge.
Really? So we're not just talking about, like, I don't know, becoming an herbalist who makes tinctures in their kitchen.
I mean, you could do that.
Oh, tell me more. What else is there?
Well, the course actually highlights some really interesting paths that like blend herbalism with existing fields.
Okay, like what?
So, say you're into massage therapy. You could incorporate herbal remedies into your practice or, the beauty world, creating all natural products with herbs.
Oh, wow.
And then there's the education side. You could become a certified herbalist yourself and then teach others about all this.
See, now that's what I'm talking about. It's like the more we understand about these plants and what they can do, it's empowering, right?
It really is. I mean, think about it. Instead of like just grabbing some random tea when you have a cold, you could actually think back to what you've learned, maybe identify some herbs that could help,
Right.
like elderberry or yarrow even. You can make your own blend, something specifically for you. It's a different way of looking at your health.
Totally. It's like you're not just, I don't know, passively taking something, you're really participating in the whole process.
Yeah.
I do have to wonder, though, with a beginner course like this, it's probably not going to go super in depth, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to be creating complex formulas after this.
You're right. It's more about the foundation.
Yep.
It's about understanding the core principles. Like, you'll learn about different parts of the plants, which parts are actually used medicinally,
Oh, okay.
and then how to prepare them.
Right, because it's not all just teas, is it?
Exactly. Teas, tinctures, salves, oils, all sorts of things. And of
Okay.
course, the ethical side of things.
Oh, right, because we can't just be out there, I don't know, taking whatever we want.
Exactly. Sustainability, ethical sourcing, all of that's really important.
Which I imagine is a whole other, I don't know, deep dive waiting to happen.
Oh, absolutely. But that's the amazing thing about herbalism. There's always something more to learn, something new to discover. This course, it's really just the beginning.
Just that spark to get us going.
Exactly. And who knows, maybe it'll inspire some people to, take it even further.
Turn it into a career.
Exactly. I can already see someone listening right now thinking, yeah, I could open my own apothecary or teach workshops.
Right. The possibilities, they're kind of endless.
They really are. And I think it just goes to show knowledge is power.
100%.
Yeah.
And when it comes to herbalism, I mean, it's not just about, like, I don't know, memorizing a bunch of plant names. It's about reconnecting with something, I don't know, something bigger, like recognizing that healing power of nature.
You said it. It's about fostering a deeper appreciation for the natural world, for our place in it.
And that actually makes me think of something.
Yeah. What's that?
Well, we've been talking about this, the individual empowerment, which is amazing.
Right.
But there's this whole other side to it. I mean, if we're embracing these traditional practices, using more herbs, more natural products,
Yeah.
we have to be mindful of the impact.
Oh, absolutely. What are you thinking about specifically?
Well, like the environment, for one, and then the communities where these plants are grown. Like, we have to make sure that this growing demand for herbal remedies, it's not coming at the expense of the planet or, exploiting people.
You're so right. That's a conversation we definitely need to be having. It's about finding that balance, isn't it, between personal well-being and our responsibility to the planet.
Exactly. And to those communities, it's about making choices that benefit everyone.
I couldn't agree more.
So, as we're kind of, wrapping up our deep dive into this whole world of herbalism,
Yeah.
I think it's important to leave our listeners with that thought.
Okay.
Like, yes, embrace this power. Use these plants.
Yeah.
But let's do it responsibly, right? Let's make sure we're protecting this planet, this earth that sustains us.
Well said. It's all connected.
It really is. Okay, so we've reached the end of our, what is this? Our herbalism deep dive, right?
Quite a journey, I'd say.
We've covered a lot. Ancient traditions, modern applications. But hopefully through it all, we've, I don't know, maybe sparked a little curiosity.
Inspired you to maybe learn a little bit more about this fascinating world of herbalism.
Right. Because even that basic understanding of what these plants can do, that's empowering.
Exactly. It allows you to make more informed choices about your health, your well-being.
So as you're exploring, we'll leave you with this. How can you incorporate, I don't know, this wisdom, this herbal wisdom into your life in a way that's authentic, sustainable, something that really feels good for you and for the world around you? It's like we're, I don't know, rediscovering these ancient practices.
Yeah.
But then there's this whole other layer of, I don't know, responsibility that comes with it.
Right. It's not just like, here's this plant, it does this thing. It's a whole system, a way of thinking about our relationship to the natural world.
Totally. And we have to approach it with respect, right?
Yeah.
Respect for the traditions themselves, and then also for, like, kind of the balance of nature.
Yeah, and I think that respect also means recognizing our own limits.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, we've only just scratched the surface here. Like, what we know about herbalism, it's just the tip of the iceberg.
Oh, for sure. This deep dive, it's really just a starting point, right?
Exactly.
Like, we're opening the door to this huge library, ancient texts, modern research. There's so much out there.
And that's what's so great about it. It's a journey, and it never really ends. Every season, there's something new to discover, some new plant, some new property, new way of connecting with, the earth.
It truly is a lifelong journey.
It is. And like any good journey, it comes with its challenges.
Oh, tell me about it. One thing I've been thinking about is, well, there's so much information out there.
Oh, yeah.
How do you even know where to begin? You've got, like, these ancient traditions and then all this, like, modern scientific research. It's a lot.
It's true. It can feel really overwhelming, which is why I think it's so important to, approach it all with a critical eye, question things, double check information,
Right.
find sources you trust, and then remember, everyone's journey is going to be different.
Right. There's no like one-size-fits-all approach to herbalism.
Exactly. You have to find what works for you, for your body, for your lifestyle.
Listen to your intuition. Experiment a little.
Yeah,
See what happens.
exactly.
And hey, have a little fun along the way, right?
Absolutely. Like, don't forget the simple joy of it all. Getting your hands dirty, connecting with nature. I mean, making your own remedies, even just like having a cup of tea. There's something really beautiful about that.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's about making it a part of your life in a way that feels, real sustainable.
Exactly. And remember, even small steps, they can make a difference, like adding some rosemary to your dinner tonight.
Oh, yeah, good for digestion.
Exactly. Or maybe diffusing a little lavender oil to unwind after a long day.
Right, right. I love that. Okay, so I think we've covered a lot of ground here today.
We have.
But more importantly, hopefully we've encouraged you, our listeners, to keep exploring this incredible world of herbalism.
Because, like we said, this is really just the beginning. There's a whole universe of plant wisdom out there waiting to be discovered.
So get out there and explore.